What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. So, you guys who play UFL on a consistent basis, you are not going to like to hear this, but facts are facts, right? Before I get started, though, I have to, go back to yesterday. First things first, on UFL stream, game is just wonky. All kinds of goofy stuff is happening. The crazy shots. The one game, it was 14 shots to 0. And the game ended up, I think, 0-0. The next game, it was like 10 shots to 2. Ended up losing like 2-0. I mean, there's just all that crazy stuff. I don't know the exact stat lines and all that, so I'm just speaking in generality. So you can go check the stream. But the most important part is within that stream, as all this stuff is happening, right? I made the statement that UFL literally would be great for my special needs cousin, because I truly feel like the game itself is so, simplified, first of all, but not in a good way like it was at initial release, right? Simplified to the point of it's not even football anymore. It's just, hey, what's the new exploit? Okay, use that exploit, score goals. Try to play football, don't score goals. That's as simple as it gets, but not in a good way. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't take skill anymore to be good at the game, and therefore, getting better skill wise, passing, dribbling, using tactics, using the right tactics, individual defending, all these things that typically make you better at a football game and what make football games fun. UFL just simply doesn't have it. It's all exploits, right? Now, when I made the statement regarding my special needs cousin, obviously there is some sarcasm to that, and because of how sensitive people are nowadays, I knew that was probably going to be too pointed for some people, and without a doubt, I guarantee it was. However, that's just who I am, okay? When I make a statement, it's not always going to be politically correct. I might have chosen a different way to say the message in general. I'm not talking about the part, where I referred to players that played the game as, insane, because I truly believe that to be the case. If you look up the definition of insanity, it's doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? But expecting different results, even though you get the same results every single time. So, for instance, first patch comes, and then people say, this patch was terrible, the game's worse now. I'm not playing again if this next patch doesn't work. Next patch comes, it's terrible. I'm not playing this game again if the, next patch doesn't work. And this has happened, 4 or 5 times over if you include like mini fixes and stuff. But people keep playing. All of a sudden, March update, it's make or break. If this game isn't fixed, if it's not better, significantly better, I'm done, because it got significantly worse every patch up to that point. So this March update was supposed to be this big overhaul where they kind of undo this whole mess they created after the initial release of the game. Patch comes out, all of a sudden, even if they made a few things better, they made, 10 other things way worse. You get what I'm saying? Before the patch, there was none of this 30-yard nonsense with the finesse shots. Yes, the through balls you could say are fixed, but now all of a sudden, passes aren't going in the right direction when you pass. They're going, you might pass straight, it goes left. You might pass left, it goes straight. That's insanity. That's new. You definitely didn't have this post thing that's going on. You didn't have players going for finesse shots and shooting the ball with the wrong foot. So, I mean, I could go on and on. The post hitting thing is just insanity. How does that even happen? How do all these glitches come in when some of this stuff isn't even related to anything they were fixing? The only thing it could be is lack of ability in their job as far as video game developers, right? Which is why I said over 8 years, the fact that all they came out with was that simplified version of football that was out during initial release, that was a red flag. However, because of what it offered, right? Yes, it was very simple, but it was open play. The tactical ability to use any tactics you want, use your tactical knowledge to attack how you want, defend how you want, the skill in defending, right? Simple movements, simple ways to score goals, but beautiful abilities to build up, to actually defend and use your knowledge to win the ball back. Like, these things made the game super fun, right? And if we just kept on going on that route, even if they didn't touch the game yet, patch-wise, a vast majority of players would have been happy. Unfortunately, they didn't go that route. Every time they tried to fix something, they showed time and time again that they just aren't capable of doing what is needed to truly make this game better, right? Now they seem to not even be able to get it back to its normal state. Now, I don't know the details of why that is regarding coding and whatever the ins and outs are, but it's pretty obvious that they aren't able to do what is needed. Let's just end it at that. And so when I say the players that play this game right now, which is not football at all, it is literally a game of exploits. And that's just a fact. So when I say, players right now that continue playing are insane, or like ask, how do you play this? It's a total waste of time. The only way I could see anybody continuing to play UFL, right, when you're supposed to be a football fan, a football gaming fan, right, and there's not football going on at all at UFL. Right? It looks like the game of football, but it doesn't play like the game of football. The things you have to do to have success are not football at all. And so it's like, what would you be playing for other than the fact that the other two football games you simply are not good at, right? You simply are maybe like the Rats, I'm not even talking about, because I understand why they would play UFL. Rats they don't win enough in life or something, and so they have to do whatever it takes to win in a video game, no matter how pointless it is when they do so, right? The other players would be players who want to use skill to improve at a game, and they just love playing football on top of that. But if you look at those two things, right, if they love playing football, there's two other football games that are way better at actually emulating the real game of football. And two, it's not a game where if you work on skill, you can get better. So if I release a tactics video right now, or a tips video, let's even say, top 5 ways to win in UFL, every way to win in UFL is going to be an exploit. It's not like it was at the beginning when I'm talking about make sure defensively that you are watching the passing lanes and switching your defenders quickly, tweaking their positioning so you can intercept every pass. Do not leave dribbling lanes open, right? On offense, don't try to force passes because you have pass lock in this game. Make sure you have an open lane. Be patient on the ball, right? But always be scanning the field and make sure you see where your player's at, because you don't want to lose possession of the ball in case you're not very good at defending, since it was so manual. It'll take you a while to get it back. You could even let up a goal, all because you weren't taking your time to find a pass. Like, things like these were some of the tips that were being given. Very simple, but absolutely 100% football. No longer is that the case. If I'm giving you top 5 tips right now, it's going to be along the lines of how to perfectly line yourself up on those 30-yard shots to score them every time. How to perfectly do the L2 cross. How to perfectly do the corner flick so the defenders can't get it and you can have a corner kick glitch goal every single time, right? All these different things make it to where it's like, what are you guys doing continuing to play this game? And, again, I didn't have to be so pointed with my words yesterday and use some of the comparisons like I already told you earlier with my with the special needs cousin saying that. However, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong, right? I would absolutely 100% guide my cousin to the UFL, because trying to teach him a game like eFootball or FC, it's just impossible as far as like Ultimate Team or any mode like that goes. However, I can absolutely teach him to play UFL, right? I can teach him to hold down R2 and L1 and just push the analog stick until he gets right here and point to the area on the field 30, 40 yards out, and then say, now press these buttons. That's all you have to do. Literally, that would be my instructions. Every once in a while, you press this button and show them the pass button, right? But that's literally all you would have to do. to even just have some success. If he just did that, and then on the defensive side, right? On the defensive side, I would have it packed all the way back, one depth, one width, playing a 5-4-1. And for those who constantly say, "Oh, it's a five backs," also an exploit to five back. I mean, I'm not even going to entertain that because how wrong that is. I did better defensively when I had the 4-2-2 because in the midfield I had more players coming back ready to steal the ball before those players could take the 30, 40-yard shots, right? The five back, you have to have skill to use it for one. And for two, the only reason Rats do use it is because in this broken defense game, right? Notice I said in this broken defense game, not five back in general, they just want more bodies behind the ball. And the five back offers that with five players across the back line. But if you don't know how to utilize a five back correctly, like especially in a regular non-broken game, right? You can get smoked because you don't have anybody unless you pressure right. If you pressure right, you can be awesome with a five back, which is why I love using it, which is why I got to top 10 in the world using it. But you have to be able to pressure right. You have to be able to know how to close out any gap left by your defender going to pressure, because that's the only way to make it successful when you have a lack of midfield presence. Some of these people just don't realize it. They see that wall of five defenders and go, "Oh my gosh," but it's only because the game's broken in its depth and width. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But going back to my cousin, I would put him in a 5-4-1, one depth, one width, right? And then I would just say, let the player run at you. Don't pull your players out. Let the player run at you. He's going to eventually dribble into one of your, players, or he's going to shoot the ball into you. At most, you just kind of follow him around a little bit in front of the ball. Then when you take it, do what I said on offense. Hold down L1 and R2, go to around this area, and then hold R1 and shoot, full powered. There you go. Good job. You have a successful UFL player now, right? So again, the words might be harsh, but it's true. And so as you continue playing this game, right, you're only going to get further and further away from playing actual football, to where once this game has so few players that you're just done with it, you're going to go to play eFootball or FC, and you're going to be so out of touch with how to play a true football game. Now, eFootball is totally unique to, like, say, FC and the UFL, so that would take time to learn anyway, but you'd still be lost on the football aspect. If you go play FC after playing UFL for a long time, right, you're going to see just how non-football UFL is. So it's more of, when I say these things like yesterday, it's more of just anger that the game was gone in such a bad direction because I wanted it to succeed. And then anger at the fact that I feel like an obligation, because it is technically a football game, to help those who keep playing, even though it's very easy for me to see how insane it is to play this game right now, right? And I don't have to cover it. I'm just being honest about why I do, okay? So me continuing to do what I said I was going to do, which was help players in all these different football games, me, like, lashing out, I guess, if you want to call it that, or stating my mind, but in a sharp manner, and going full tilt when I do so and caring so much, is because, it's kind of like an integrity thing as far as keeping my word. You guys still play the game. I know I can still come up with good tactics. I have this 4-2-2 that I was using. I guarantee if you use it in game, you will love it because of the fact that it helps you cover that long shot, that 30, 40-yard shot, very well, right? That's where it helps you a lot. Players in and around the right area to win that long shot ball back. Now, even once they nerf that out, the way it attacks, the way it defends, it's excellent. So whether you like what I say or not, I can still help you in this game, and I will do that. But I think it's just insanity that players still waste their time playing, no matter how well the tactics do that I do provide you, or the tips that I can and will provide you. It's just like, why are we even doing this? But here you go. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a sorry, I'm not sorry thing. If anything, maybe I wouldn't have been as pointed with my words, but the message is the message, right? I stand on that because it's facts. So with that being said, you do what you do. Obviously, I already stated how I felt. So if that was too harsh for you, or if you don't like hearing facts about this game about UFL, no different than how I would do with FC and how I do with FC and eFootball. I'm always sharing the facts. Example: EAFC has the worst servers, historically have the worst servers as well. It's nothing new, but what is new is it seems much more consistently bad as far as how the servers are affecting the gameplay, and you can see it in the comments. There's a lot of widespread hatred towards how bad the game's playing, no matter how good it is football wise after the patch. If it's so slow that you can't do anything, right, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, you might as well put the game in a trash can, and unfortunately, it's going more in that direction. Not 100%, the gameplay will still get just better enough to play, but it's going in that direction. So it's not like it's just all positive elsewhere. However, looking at every game at face value, my statement on UFL is what it is, but it's true. So if you stick around and somehow Strikers is able to pull off a miracle and they maybe get some way better game developers than they have right now, whatever the case it is that makes them turn things around, right? And the game gets great, you're going to see me support the game again, just like I tried to, just taking the notes on face value. I was super excited, super supportive until I saw that they were nonsense. The notes did not match the gameplay at all. But let's just say they eventually fix it, I will be 1000% on board, right? However, if they don't, it is what it is. I mean, facts are facts, and I'm not going to start sugarcoating or BSing no matter how much certain, players are sensitive and can't handle certain things. They're just going to have to unfollow me, right? I don't care if 1,000 people unfollow me, right? More than my subscribers right now, even. Let's say some of the viewers that don't hit subscribe, unfollow, or stop watching my videos. It is what it is. I'm never going to stop stating facts. So I'll see you on the next one. Peace.